Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Spring 2020. I'm Atlas, joined by Wadid here as we move into game number 2 of DRX versus SANDBOX. DRX they won a team fight at about 28 minutes and the game was over. It felt like things were actually relatively close, and then SANDBOX messed up one team fight and it was done.
Yeah, I mean, you might say this was great game by DRX, but I personally think it was not that great by them, because it just felt like SANDBOX played really bad and worse than DRX right there. And then, yeah, I mean, I thought they had a great comp, but they didn't even try to reach to late game that composition trying to save.
Yeah.
So it was really really sad to watch, to see SANDBOX just falling down really easily when they had the great chance to play against the DRX right there. But yeah, at the same time, it's happy to see DRX bot lane and top lane and mid lane is performing good.
Yeah, exactly. And I think not highlighting Pyosik playing all that well is the thing that I heard from that particular sentence, because the Sylas fell really far behind when it came to farm. I don't think that the Sylas was even really much of a factor that game.
Got it, man.
So we really do need to see Pyosik step up as we move further forward, because I mean, I know that he didn't necessarily ask for all of the attention, but he got it, and now he's going to need to start performing.
Yeah, I mean, he did at least fine job at round 1, but yeah, we were actually expecting Doran to play better than round 1, and he is actually doing it.
Yeah.
You know? He's so much better than round 1, and he's carrying the game. I mean, he just carried the 2 team fights by himself with Chobi. So yeah, I mean, it's only Pyosik is left in DRX to perform better.
Yep, well, we'll see whether he can step up against a new opponent, as OnFleek is going to be subbed out. Punch is going to come in. Unfortunately, still no Summit. I don't know what's happened, but it feels like whenever we ask for him, he doesn't turn up, as this guy definitely did. We were talking about Doran having a better performance, and he's going to pick up player of the game for it. His set was brilliant, managed to get a really high kill participation score as well, which is certainly impressive, as we're going to check out some of his highlights here.
Yeah, I mean, he's laning phase, team fights, it was so free to play, because yeah, they just picked the Aatrox for no reason.
Yeah.
I can just say it was no reason, because he lost laning phase, he lost the team fight, and he was not doing anything on the side lane. He was getting pushed the whole lane.
Oh my god.
On the side at the mid
Doran
game.
won that last team fight basically by himself. Like, he CC'd everyone for like that whole time, instantly murdered the Kalista, and then they just didn't have any damage. It's not how this composition was supposed to work. You're not supposed to be able to like jump on top of a Cassiopeia and then be absolutely fine. But Doran, apparently, he can do it if he wants to. Really impressive stuff there from the top laner of DRX.
I mean, I just don't know why they're keep picking Aatrox at this point, because it was just worst game I ever seen with the Aatrox right there.
So. It should have been on. Okay, well, we'll see whether they actually find the on button. I think that both of these teams forgot that on existed, as I guess they might have been thinking about like the Sylas being there, and therefore like, oh no, we can't pick on because we could get it Sylas. But I don't even see Sylas as that much of a counter pick into the on, to be perfectly honest. Certainly Cuvée played it very, very well when he demonstrated that it can work as a pseudo counter, but you still have an Ornn who's still injecting all of this gold into your team and providing a basically free win condition in the late game. Like, I don't know, man. I think it's still really dangerous, as DRX are going to be banning away the Set and the Azir here, as once again, we're going to have a whole lot left available. And now DRX can capitalize on the red side by getting a few more of these priority picks. Is Aphelios going to be banned? Is going to be the question. Have to remember that on 10.6, he has been nerfed just a little bit as far as damage ratios on quite a few of his weapons. But still very, very strong, and still something that I could imagine DRX do not want to give away. As Ornn is going to be left available, Senna is up, Kalista is up, 3 seconds to go. DRX wondering what it is that they're going to be taking away. And by the looks of things, it is going to be Elise. So throwaway ban to make sure that DRX get as many things as possible. And look, we're in the same position again, we did. as Dragon X have Callista and the Ornn available to them.
And Senna?
And Senna, yeah. As Ornn is being, finally, we found him. It took us, we got a bit of lag today. Finally, the MS is...
That's really hard draft, right? Like, it's just so hard to react with the Ornn.
I know, it's so hard. So now we've figured it out, and the Ornn is just going to be locked in immediately. I love it. As
Is he gonna answer with Aatrox, by the way, again? Then I'm just gonna crash my desk and just rage quit.
Well, I mean, I guess it's good for the LCK that you're at home. Because at least now you can break only your own stuff.
Please no.
Well,
Please
the
no.
Trundle priorities there. I actually thought that maybe Dragon X were going to lock away the Sylas instead. So they can deny the Sylas answer. But not going to be the case. It's going to be the Trundle. And we'll see what SANDBOX are going to do. I think this Sylas does make a lot of sense. And then lock away something in the support position. Could be another option here, as Braum would be the classic LCK answer to the Ornn.
And this is a great answer with the Sylas. Yeah, I mean, you were maybe right that they were actually just caring about Sylas.
Yeah, maybe.
Against Ornn. So they're just insta-picking Sylas. Probably that's top lane Sylas against Ornn.
Yep, unless we're going to see some interesting flexes, as that is Deft's Ezreal. And SANDBOX they're going to be looking at this Yuumi being like, we're going to need to ban that the heck away. Oh my god. And this is going to be another decent laning phase for the Ezreal. Ezreal actually does fairly well into the Aphelios, and we'll see whether that is going to continue here, as Dragon X thinking about their first ban in the second round, and LeBlanc has been permabanned so far today.
Yep.
It was in round 1 the first time around, but now after SANDBOX didn't pick that one up, it's not going to be available. I think it's kind of interesting with it, because I would have thought that Dragon X would have been pretty happy to lock away the LeBlanc after this ban phase, but instead they're going to take it off the table, and we'll see whether this means that Chovy's going to get that counter pick in mid lane, because of course the Ornn already locked away for Doran, and it makes sense to get Chovy the best possible lane.
But I think this is also a smart choice by DRX, because I'm support player, right? So I know how to play against Israel.
Yep.
But as Nautilus, you cannot actually reach to Israel that much. Maybe early game sometimes, but still, when it hits mid late game, then all you can do as Nautilus is just flash R, try to flash R and hook. So it's still great to give a depth-free Israel against Aphelios. So I think it's still great for DRX, because they have Ornn Israel, which is so great for the late game. So I don't think they're gonna lose late game right there if they pick Braum.
I actually think that if they didn't pick Yuumi here, it might be my desk's turn to break, because it is such a free Yuumi pickup. I think if they lock this away and then get another tanky boy for the mid lane or for top lane, flex the Ornn around, it'll look very similar to the composition that we saw out of KT.
This is great.
With aiming being able to go completely ballistic on his Ezreal with so much peel and so much CC. And now you can see that Deft is going to be even further buffed with this Yuumi coming in. And this is going to be a game all about Deft and providing as much space for him as possible, because already they got pillar boys. They can just put down pillars everywhere. Ornn's got a pillar, Trundle's got a pillar. Oh.
Yasuo?
Oh, is it going to...
I just want to see Yasuo here.
Yeah, Yasuo and the Gragas. It's certainly a possibility. We already know that the Sylas will be heading towards the top side. Now that is assuming that the Ornn is going to head top as... Oh my god, no! No! Please, please, God. Please, God. No, my God, they did it! I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, what did.
I lost my mind. Literally.
All right. I wouldn't mind the Lucian here. Lucian Yuumi also fantastic. I'm just trying to ignore SANDBOX's comp entirely. As 4 seconds to go, Carrier is working out what Chovy wants to play. Oh my god, it could have been the Yasuo.
Oh man, I mean, if it was Yasuo, then they have great mid-jungle synergy, and with the Sylas top lane, you have Ornn ulti, and you're playing Yasuo against Israel, Yuumi, Ornn, which is you can use your W really effectively. But instead of that, they're just picking mid lane at Aatrox, it seems like, which is... I don't think it's even good against Lucian.
And it's also, it's not even just like trying to make up for Lonely's, you know, lack of being able to play anything other than Aatrox. Like, this is Dove saying it's my turn to suck at Aatrox. Like, why? Why? Oh my god, it's ridiculous. I don't really understand. But that's okay. We'll see whether SANDBOX do have a plan, because this was like one of the sexiest possible Yasuo positions ever, because they already had magic damage top lane. They had the magic damage coming out of the Gragas there as well. I mean, they wanted AD mid laner. Why the heck do you not just pick the Yasuo? Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, normally when you think about the picks, as a pro player, you always find the reason why you picked this champion.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to figure out what's the reason they picked the Aatrox mid. Yeah, they were blind picking, so probably they were just worrying about getting hard counter pick by a Chovy fit pick right there.
But like,
so,
Chovy still managed to counterpick him. Like, Lucian trashes Aatrox.
That's what I mean.
Oh my god.
Anyways, you can get counterpick, you know? That's just how it is, you know, at the blue side, but they just keep picking Aatrox. I was thinking more about the composition with the Yasuo.
Yeah.
But
yeah, exactly. And look, it's going to be a difficult laning phase, but it is going to be difficult anyway, right? Because you're blinding in the mid lane and you're up against Chovy. So you may as well pick for comp. And a Yasuo, even if he goes 0-3, we've all seen it in our solo queue games, like, you can set him up for success by having a million knockups, which they already had, and having the right, you know, damage style composition as well, which they also already had. I don't know, man. It's a bit of a bad news bears scenario, as the cat on a book is looking to go back home, as we are onto the rift for game number 2. And if we were going to put on our LS hat for a little moment, I would say that Dragon X have certainly won since the draft, and I think it all has to do with the Aatrox, unfortunately, as this is a plague. It's like a virus that SANDBOX has. It's the Aatrox virus.
I mean, this draft is just full of disaster, because they lose early game, they lose mid game, and they lose late game.
Yeah.
So I don't see the reason why they're just picking like this. But the one good thing about the SANDBOX draft is they have Aphelios.
They do.
And that's all.
that's it. And
that's all, you know? They have Aphelios. Yeah.
Woohoo!
OP pick on the AD carry. But your player is Daph the Israel. So, and he played Kalista awful in the game 1, so I'm not sure if he's gonna able to 1v9 this game with the Aphelios right here.
Especially not against Deft and Carrier on the Ezreal Yuumi, which is a very strong laning duo, as once again, Deft and Carrier they want to have laning power every single time, and if you don't deny it from them, it can be very, very difficult. But, you know, crazier things have happened, as the Prowling Projectile is going to find roots somehow there, as our Carrier playing around with his bop and block, and Deft is somehow managing to weave these Mystic shots in to harass the Aphelios. Level 2 going to be first for SANDBOX, though.
Yeah, I mean, SANDBOX has bot lane pressure because they're playing against Izuru Yuumi. And normally when DRX is playing good, they have bot pressure and Keria is moving all around the map. But at least this game, they can have bot pressure and they can have support who can move earlier than Yuumi.
Yeah, true.
It should be. And yeah, it should affect the mid lane or jungler. So,
good knockup.
That was great cancel.
Yeah, but not really enough.
You
as
cannot do anything.
Yeah, Ingo's punch.
Because you're playing against Lucian.
Oh no. And now Chovy's 1v2ing and just having a good time doing it. Pyoshik's going to turn up. He will have the pillar to put down. Good double knock up there as Chovy dashes on in. A flash forward. The ignite. It's ticking down as Dove. Is he going to survive? I think the answer is going to be yes as he goes back home. A few ticks away from that one working out. But still, a whole lot of pressure, but not a lot of summoner spells left here for Chovy in mid.
Yeah. Great. He has TP though, so he can just TP back and just get CS.
Yep, he'll be fine.
At least that's great news for him. But still, yeah, as you mentioned it, Lucian is pressuring and just stomping Aatrox 1v1. Even 1v2 is comfort for Chovy right there, so it's still great for DRX. And it seems like Pyoshik is gonna 1v3 here.
It's going for it. Lonely is going to get that inside track like you were talking about. But Pyoshik finds everyone. Punch is just going to be able to take away this Rip Scuttler. And Dove, without being able to head back to his mid lane because he can't be pushed up that far as the Aatrox, it is going to be dangerous here as he doesn't have his flash or his teleport available either. And so that is certainly going to be a point of control for DragonX as this game goes on. As Doran lost out on the trade, yeah. You can see Punch is going to move in. Lonely. Can he close the distance? There's the body slam flashes. Doran is going to get out for a little while, but the Bellow's Breath not enough to escape the first blood. And that goes over to Lonely. Great news for SANDBOX here early in this game.
This is what you want when you sub in the player, that you need to bring up some new atmosphere to the team. Punch did really great job of topping game, and they got.
Well, there's the knockup from Doran. Is going to find a fair bit of damage here onto Lonely. You have to remember that the Kingslayer is still available as Lonely looking to try and turn it onto Pyoshik. Large amount of damage, just a flash after. And Lonely gets a whole bunch of his mana back there as well. Oh my god, it's a disaster for DragonX top side of the map.
So yeah, I mean, it was understandable that Doran got the gank, but you don't need to go top side and give another kills for free. It was really great gank fight. He couldn't react with the W to cancel it with the CC. So yeah, it was great gank. But the second time, they should know that Silas has flash and W to get HP back.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's playing Trundle, and he's going melee against Gragas, and he just tries to Q on Gragas for no reason. That was really questionable play by Pyoshik.
Yeah, really dicey stuff. And Pyoshik is at least still ahead as far as camps are concerned. He's going to be able to take down Bertha, and then things are going to be all right as Lonely. Another Kingslayer comes out. A lot of damage here onto Doran, who gets the Grasp of the Undying proc to help that health bar just a little bit. Lonely just going to straight up watch a cannon creep die. Try not to get too triggered, everyone. As SANDBOX have a 500 gold lead. It's by no means them being out of the woods just yet, as Doran's picking up magic resist just by standing underneath this turret and still has a lot of farm. Having a look at the farm as well, I mean, Chovy is well and truly in the lead. Bottom lane is going better here for SANDBOX, but you always have to look at Chovy when it comes to DragonX because he is the sword that they play around. He is just very, very strong.
Yeah, this is what I mentioned, because normally as Yuumi you cannot match Rom as Nautilus, so they should keep moving towards mid lane to help Aatrox, and they have top pressure either, so this is great. As jungler, when your team has both side lane pressure, then yeah, that means that you can get both sides of scuttles, so it should be really easy game for the SANDBOX, at least for the early game.
Well, so far, you can see early it is working out much better for the bottom lane. We're checking in on it right now. I mean, the poke is certainly going to be there, and Deft and Carrier aren't too worried about how the start of this game has gone because they are, of course, just looking for that mid-game spike that Ezreal will have, that Aphelios will not. I mean, Aphelios is more of this 3-item style AD carry, so DragonX still will be able to play around that mid-game that they love so much. And you can see bottom side of the map as far as total gold is concerned, there is no difference between Ezreal and Ezreal and Aphelios at all, really. It's like 100 gold, something like that. As DragonX would just need them to tidy up the top side because honestly, I mean, the Ornn doesn't need to do much, but like, please don't go 0-2 at the beginning of this game. As Punch is going to roam into the jungle here. Pyoshik in position as this control ward is going to get taken down. You can see the DRX bottom lane. They want to go back and clear out this wave. And Dove is going to get that inside track into this blue buff. So it does look to me like SANDBOX are easily going to be able to lock away this blue buff. As Def isn't going to be able to get in there in time. As Punch does take a fair bit of damage there. As Def just tries to get a little bit of poke as he moves on in. Mountain Drake looking to be considered here, as now Chovy's going to be going back home. He has a huge CS advantage, but now just looking to try and augment his item build. And he has himself the Executioner's Calling, fantastic, of course, against this Aatrox. And the Vampiric Scepter moving towards his Blade of the Ruined King as soon as he can. As Gorilla just getting poked out, but does at least have the Titan's Wrath to keep his health bar in order. And Root is just going to get stronger and stronger. Now the wave clear is certainly working out with that Infernum equipped. Just ran out of bullets there, but There's a free Drake going over to SANDBOX, and they have a lot of control at the start of this game.
The reason why they're just not fighting at all right now is their bot lane is not that strong at this point. Either Yuumi, the DRX side. So I think they are waiting for them to just be more powerful and try to fight, even though they have full pressure on the mid. So Chovy is just adapting the play for the team right now. And they lost the pressure on the top side. So this is just not that great for Chovy, who plays really aggressive, who really wants to play aggressive on the mid lane. And this is also a great move by SANDBOX, which they had bot pressure, so they are just moving first. And I'm not sure if they're gonna try to fight here with the Yuumi and Israel early game.
Well, you can see they are moving on down. The Rift Herald should be taken here by SANDBOX. It's down very, very low for the moment, but now Pyosik is trying to find Dove. As
they're trying.
He's going to come down. Good on there into the backline for Doran, but a second one does come in. Oh, not going to work at all as he gets denied on the throwback, but SANDBOX still able to do a lot of work here. Deft and Chovy still alive. Great flash to get out there from Deft. I don't know whether it would have hit it, but he didn't want to take the chance. And it looks like DRX are going to walk away. They did manage to pick up 1 kill, but a 2-for-1 trade in favor of SANDBOX, and they got the Rift Herald.
Yeah. As I expected, SANDBOX had a really great advantage from early, so they got the good team fights right there, and even they got the header too. So this is all great for SANDBOX.
Yeah, and the ult out from Doran was definitely better than that of Lonely's. He just couldn't quite manage to pick up the on the second time around. I think was stunned. Yeah, he got knocked back, so couldn't actually return the ram, which might have actually been a huge deal in this fight, because if there was that extra CC, then Deft may not have escaped just there, and maybe Carrier would have fallen down as well. So definitely could have been better for SANDBOX. You can see DRX have pulled back that gold lead by quite a decent margin, to be honest. And I think a lot of it has to do with Chovy being 30 CS ahead in this mid lane.
I mean, maybe we should expect Chovy to do a lot like game 1. He was just dashing in all the time and dragging all the enemies. But this time, I'm not sure if he can actually do that again, because he's playing against Nautilus, which is just, you can just target CC.
Yeah, and now you can see Root's so much more comfortable here, just raining havoc down onto Doran. And Dove, throws in the Rift Herald as well, so they are going to be able to get all of these plates onto their Aphelios. Really great macro play from SANDBOX, and it feels like they have sort of rallied after what was a very difficult game number 1, and a bit of a poor performance, to be perfectly honest. Plates are all consumed, and this tower is going to fall down as well, so plate advantage here for SANDBOX by a pretty large margin. And having a look down at the scorelines, I think a lot of it has to do with Pyosik sitting there on 0-2-0, not finding his way in at all on this Trundle that they priority picked. Remember, this was one of the prizes that DRX were able to pick up this game.
And I just want to spotlight once more again that they just did on the bottom side. That was just clean and simple.
Wow, Ignite used
he's looking for
already.
solo
Yeah, the culling was blocked by the minions though, as now Punch is moving on in.
Yeah,
Chovy, he wanted to try and get a kill off the back end, but he's not going to be able to. SANDBOX just collapse and take him down. Chovy, normally so much of a power point, but if he's going to be playing that aggressively and the team is behind, it's not going to work like it did in game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, SANDBOX is just doing so many good jobs in the whole map, because they shifted to the bot side to get the header on the bot, and they got the mid pressure at the same time, and just TP back to top side to do not lose the minion creeps. And also, they got the kill with the ward behind the Lucian, the TP back. So all the great basic stuffs are coming out from the SANDBOX, so which means they're still focusing in the game, and yeah, they're just getting all the points in the match.
Let's have a look at this once again.
트런들이 날 빨려나?
perspective,
바꿨다 위치.
seeing how this one works out. And they were already planning this gank, as Chovy avoids a whole lot of those circles, but it's just not enough as the teleport did come in. As we've got a team fight. Yumi's already died, but we're going 1-for-1. Gorilla also going to fall down. Is now Dove looking for this flank onto Chovy. He's got Relentless Pursuit and get over the wall, but Pyosik not going to be so lucky as Deft is going to get taken down as well. Punch, fantastic cast into the back line. And SANDBOX have not let their foot off the gas this game. 13.5 minutes in, already 8 kills to 2.
They're on point. They're just doing such a great rotation in full map, and the fight that they're taking right now is just have so much sense.
Yeah.
And they're getting second objective even. So this is just all great for SANDBOX. All they need to do is just synchronize the side lane pressure to the mid lane.
Yeah, it's really, really good stuff here from SANDBOX. This is not the team that we saw in game number 1, as Root's going to be able to take down this turret carrier, has to back away. And the control of this map is just continuing. Lonely, trying to go aggressive onto Dorian here. He's going to do so, as we've got an Infernal Soul to come in, and that is bad news if you're a DRX fan. They would have been desperate for a Cloud Soul this game, because they have not had control in this area whatsoever. The final chapter did come down as Def gets himself over the wall, and Gorilla is going to go down low as well. But look at Punch getting into this backline and just decimating DragonX.
I mean, I just want to spotlight Punch again, because he just subbed in for the game too.
Yeah.
And he's affecting the game. I mean, he's just carrying alone for the SANDBOX. The macro is just so clean. And I don't know how to express more than
Yeah,
this.
no, he's just brilliant.
He's just playing so good. Yeah.
And it's led SANDBOX to allow this Aphelios to just very comfortably get into a great advantage. 0-0-5 right now, but he's going to be in a great spot as we move towards his second item. Runon's Hurricane seems to be coming in next. As we have a look at the total gold, he is ahead of Deft by a huge number right now. And Ezreal needs to be strong right now. Like 15 to 25 minutes is the Ezreal time. And he can't even fight up against the Aphelios, who should need to wait for extra items to be relevant. So SANDBOX in a brilliant position here this game, and with 4,000 gold in the lead, with a composition like this, it's very scary for DragonX, as it looks like we might be heading towards 3 games this time around. Dove is going to pressure this top lane, and we'll see whether DragonX can have any response. We know that this team is still very, very good at team fighting, right? DragonX are still able to pull rabbits out of hats, but whether they can do it this game is going to be a really tough ask. Because yes, they got a great team fight in the last game, but they were ahead, right? Like, it's a very different story now, as SANDBOX have been just extending their leads so consistently.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the kill that they got on the top side against Chovy was really huge, because
Yeah.
that's the only player that they had the pressure, DRX. So right now they have none of pressure on the whole map, so it feels really hard to play the game against SANDBOX.
Yep, really, really rough. Dorian is going to move towards that level 14 mark, level 13 mark, and start putting together some of his masterwork items. That's going to help put a little bit of extra money into DragonX, so it's not over just yet. I mean, Ornn does change how these games work, but I just don't know whether it's going to be enough, to be honest. Like, what does an upgraded Blade of the Ruin King do when you're up against this SANDBOX comp that just looks to be playing out so much better? I mean, Punch's Gragas has been so damn good this game. 3-0 and 5 already. And
100% kill per direction.
yeah, exactly. He's playing super well. And you can see on the other side that has really exposed Pyosik.
Again?
Yeah.
I just don't wanna make him cry again.
Oh yeah, that's true. And maybe he's not paying attention to the English broadcast, so maybe you'll be safe. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't get translated. If you're in the chat and you're one of our Korean viewers, please, if you could just refrain from translating, just for Pyoshik's benefit, that would be really, really nice. Thank you very much.
I mean, I should just say that, you know, like Pyoshik, I don't even want to talk about him, because he's just playing bad the whole game.
Yeah.
Like, just all the games that they're playing after round 2, at least at round 1, some plays and some games that he played, he was playing really, really good.
Yeah, he
know?
had some moments.
And at round 2, the vision control on Pyoshik actually improved, so I was expecting him to play more aggressive with the information that he got, but right now he's like just running around and just following the carries to support, but I don't see the actual smart plays by Pyoshik.
Yeah, he's not making smart plays, he's making aggressive plays that are silly, actually. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
he's like, it's almost like desperation that we can see in his playstyle, which is what happens to a lot of our, you know, younger players, right? Like, that is something that is quite common, to just try and go for plays that aren't necessarily the smart ones, they just want to be able to do something, right? And aggression for aggression's sake is not something that we do want to see. As Chovy pushing here towards the bottom side, but he's going to be met by quite a few members of SANDBOX. And Dove is going to very comfortably pick up these minions as Infernal Drake is going to be up in 15 seconds time. And you can see Dragon X are actually in position for it, as Lonely is towards the top side. Does have teleport available, of course, but it looks like the Ornn will have a positional advantage here on this area. And if DRX get on top of the Aphelios and take him out of the fight, then there is a chance that DRX are going to win, right? But there's just so much heal and Punch playing so damn well that it will be very, very difficult. Root a long way away from this one as Shirley has been thrown down in the mid lane. So this inner turret should be falling down as now Dove in a bit of trouble, but no, Chovy getting it turned back around on him. The culling comes down. Infernal Drake still being aggroed here, but Chovy's very, very low. And Doran has to flash to get himself out of the way. The depth charge is in as Doran is going to get the knock up with the Ornn Horn. The Drake is still fighting here and it's secured by Dragon X. But the dredge line is going to miss. Lonely trying to dash on forward, and Dragon X now just trying to escape from this one. SANDBOX still in position. You can see the poke is actually working out here from Dragon X. Pyoshik in position in the front line, doesn't have the subjugate available, as now Def does find his W. Root now over to the side though as the fight has broken out. Doran's going to be the first one to go down. They need to get on top of Root, but he's so safe in that backline. Def having to arcane shift very, very late as Root has flashed on forward. Doing so much damage right here as the flash in from Gorilla should be able to secure it. Root's going to be able to pick up that kill, make it a double, and SANDBOX win the ensuing fight.
Yeah, I mean, I lost my words because I didn't expect to DRX to just.
Yeah, what was the re-engage? What was that about?
Yeah, that's my question. Because I mean, the poking was great, and they did their job. They just blocked the third Drake by SANDBOX, so I felt like they already did their job, so they don't even need to fight. Because all they need to do is just delay the game and drag to the late game, but they're just way too hurried to make this game fast. You know? Yeah. To just destroy their own nexus.
Yeah, sort of what it felt like. As we can see picture in picture a potential gank coming down onto Chovy one more time. We'll see whether he can outplay it as Lonely is in a whole host of trouble. Chovy, can he actually get the 1v2 kill as the culling does nothing? Flashes out of the way of Punch as the culling comes down for himself. But it's a great stopwatch, and that is going to make Lonely's life so much easier as Punch. You're exactly right. He is MVP and a half for SANDBOX here today.
For sure, man. He deserves it.
Well, he's 308, my god. He's only one kill participation away from 100%. As Dove, great avoidance there on the Searing Charge. Good knock-up again. As Doran is a brick wall, so it's not looking like Dove's going to be able to fight this one out, as the Ram is going to be completely whiffed. That's unfortunate. World Ender now has been popped as Dove's looking for the 1v1, and he should be able to find it. His health bar completely regened. As he's getting slowed down. Good Searing Charge there to escape from Doran, but Dove has laid down the law, and that is not going to be a fight that Doran can take again.
He's like trying to talk to me to that, hey man, I picked Aatrox for this reason. Huh. Like he's trying so much for the team. But this play by Punch, man, it's all about Punch. His skill shots and the combo, it was all great, even though he missed his E.
I mean, that was the flash out from Chovy, actually. I mean, that wasn't even necessarily a miss. It was a great cask to be landed after all of those spells were already utilized, and I don't think he could have played that any better. Absolutely fantastic stuff there from Punch. As Def gets his Muramana transformation and his Trinity Force now, but at 22 minutes, it is so late as now Chovy having to deal with Lonely once
Chovy
again.
Has no flash.
Yeah, Gorilla jumping on in as well, and the distance is being closed. Lonely picks up another one, and Dredgeline barely missing onto Pyoshik here on the side, and Root just walks in and steals away a red buff. This is insult meeting injury right now for Dragon X, and they're going to have to try and put their mental back together moving towards game number 3 after this, because honestly it's feeling like SANDBOX have this one in the bag.
I mean, Chovy is really lost, it seems like, after his first set, because as I mentioned, it was the only pressure they got, but Chovy, he doesn't know how to just carry 1v9 again. Yeah. Because also Doran is getting pressured by by the team. And the problem is, their bot lane is also not performing good right here.
Has the zoomies, but Root just has so much consistent damage. Doran over to the side is Lonely, looking
Lonely.
for Kojic. He should be able to find him here. As the Ornhorn comes down from Doran, he's going to be able to get the knock-up, but it's not enough to save the troll. As now Dove is going to get slowed down by the Prowling Projectile. Doran does now have a Yuumi on top of him, and they're still looking for more of a fight here. The knockup comes in. Deft will have some damage, but remember, Root's at full health.
I'm not
I don't
sure,
think
man.
they want this fight, as Deft is very low. Lonely survives for so damn long, and now Chovy, he turns up to fight a losing battle. Great skill shot there from Deft, with a missing shot to lock down Dove, as now Deft might be able to get the follow. Remember, he does have decent itemization right here, but oh, the stun from Roots grabbed him. I think that was like the last bit of ammo that he had on that one. But still, they're going to back away, and it's once again an advantage for SANDBOX.
Yeah, I mean, everything seems like just so great for SANDBOX, because Aphelios is working out, bro. As I said, Aphelios needs to perform well this game, and he is doing it.
He's 4-0-6. He's having a great game.
Yeah.
They did get a shutdown. I mean, Punch fell, so that means that Deft actually has a lot more money, but not in his back pocket right now. It hasn't been turned into items just yet. This is the second Infernal available here for Dragon X, and the Gragas is nowhere in sight. So yes, guaranteed for Dragon X. And as these start stacking up, man, I don't know how Dragon X have been able to get on top of these Infernals every single time, but very lucky for them that they have been able to put these ones together. As we have a look at this fight one more time, a scouting True Shot barrage. And this was actually going relatively well. I mean, the final chapter was brilliant out of Keria, and Kojic survived for a very long time. But, like, Lonely keeps his health bar so high so easily. Like, all of these heals from his W are just really helping out in these fights.
Yeah, they have no healing reduction yet. Only on Lucian, so if they cannot have Lucian in the team fight, then they have no healing reduction, so that's a problem.
Yeah, this is actually a really good Morello game, but they don't have anyone that can really build it.
Yes, true. But still, they still have good late game, which is Deft Easter and Yuumi with the Ornn. So all they need to do is just try to delay the game, because they already got the stop. They already stopped the 2 Drakes already.
Yeah, exactly. And if they can get to Infernal Soul, I mean, that's going to be massive for Dragon X. And at the moment, they are in position to do so. You could imagine that SANDBOX is going to probably fight more effectively for it when we're moving into the next Drake and the subsequent one after that. But DRX still keeping it within 10,000 gold, the advantage. And we do have Masterwork items coming in. The ornaments have been set up here, as Deft does have his Trinity Fusion. And there are a couple of them sitting on Doran as well. So as this game goes on, this gold lead will be less and less in favor of SANDBOX. But, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, if they can't get onto Root, then DRX just lose the team fight.
Punch has flash.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do as he gets into the back line. Gorilla's going to miss the dredge line, and that means that Dove's going to struggle to get into the flanking position. Doran just standing, playing bouncer, trying to stop anyone from jumping onto the carries of the team. Is Dove going to get lit on fire? Yeah, this is a massive problem as Doran flashes in. Triple knockup is gigantic as Deft over the wall as well. Gorilla's going to go down first, and Lonely is going to follow, most likely Root. Now Chovy trying to jump on top of him, but they're not going to be able to. And I thought that was going to be way better for Dragon X, as you can see. With the Crescendum and the Calibrum set up from Root, he can harass from so long range.
Yep, it's paused again. Maybe they're shocked that they're just 10 kills ahead,
but still... Sorry, we didn't see Dove's death register. Can you please let us know whether that's actually there, guys?
Yeah? Can you guys just answer me how we can lose team fight with the 10 kills lead? We have so much gold advantage, and we are keep losing team fight. This is about the game.
Yeah.
I don't think we are playing bad, boys.
This must be, we must have to pause it. We are going to get an update, guys. Hopefully someone can let us know from production as to what happened there, as I believe our producer is about to let us know. But yeah, we'll keep you updated on what happens. But this is what happens when Wadid is on the broadcast. We need to have a few pauses. That's just what he brings. Make sure that we have as much LCK as possible. Do
I need to apologize again?
Yeah, no, I don't know whether it's your fault. We are going to get a bit of a replay, though. Thankfully, a team fight did just occur, so we're going to be able to check out exactly what did go down. I think Doran's play was fantastic. The flash and then getting that triple knock-up really created all the space for DRX to utilize. And we got to see just how powerful Ezreal and the Lucian are because they can follow up on CC so quickly. And we saw it
That
right
was
here.
really interesting dash right there. Like, he's just dashing into Lucian.
Yeah.
He just did. And that drags all the SANDBOX members into really bad spot. I mean, he survived and just Gorilla died for it.
And somehow Lonely survived as well. Just shows that DRX are desperate to pick up some more of that healing reduction because the Kingslayer did so much work. And then Chovy having to back away. Like, look at these chakrams from like a million range. As we check out Chovy's perspective here, the chunking onto Dove was actually the huge deal here at this stage.
Let me listen to it. Oh, he's not even
이제 밀렸어. 여기 봐줘. 트럼 내가 앞으로 가. 구도 좋아. 니도 좋다. 천천히 빨리 천천히.
shocking part is Chovy is not even saying anything. He's just hanging for his team. Like solo queue.
이거 퍼즈 할 수 있나 잠깐만?
I like it.
퍼즈 해야 될
That's
것
so
같아.
funny.
퍼즈 해도 되나요?
It's classic. It's back from his Griffin days, you know? When they were in Griffin, they just didn't say anything, right? Like, team fights were basically silent in the comms. And
DRX actually asked for the pause, so it sounded like it. I didn't hear what was the problem.
it's a bit of high
DRX
ping.
actually asked it. Yeah.
So Deft said, "What's with the ping right now? Can I pause?" I think that's what it is. So we're just making sure that the connection for Deft is absolutely fine. I think, you know, winning a team fight when they were down by so much gold is certainly a sign that things are probably pretty okay. But we don't want to have any lag issues or anything like that. So we're just making sure that it's all right. And then we'll be back into this game ASAP. It's only 27 minutes into the game. And 6,000 gold is the lead here for SANDBOX. And we are going to be getting into yet another highlight. This was another one of these team fights that really felt like Punch was able to help control. And SANDBOX were just honestly really far ahead at this stage.
Yeah, Punch was just affecting the whole map. Both to top side, like he was just carrying all the team fights and skirmishes. And this was really huge by SANDBOX right here. That you need to stop one carry.
Yeah.
That is maybe simple, but really hard at the same time because it's Chovy. But they got 3-man into Chovy.
Yeah, exactly. And you saw Chovy like desperately trying to deny assists and maybe take one with him, but was unable to close the gap onto Dove. Really good control from the mid laner of SANDBOX. And yet another good team fight as the Yuumi had to be sacrificed. And DRX, this is again like staying for too long and then just getting counter-engaged.
Yeah, I mean, maybe some of people can say this is just disrespect against the SANDBOX right here. But yeah, I mean, it's really great to see all the SANDBOX members are playing good compared to game 1, especially. And yeah, Punch subbing in, it worked out really, really well.
Yeah, his Gragas has been absolutely fantastic. I just like seeing Gragas, to be honest, because he's such a good team fighting jungler, as well as being able to affect the map early so well. Is just a really good choice. Is Lonely playing out the Sylas very nicely here up against Chovy as well. But this is where things stopped going SANDBOX's way as effectively as we saw earlier on. I feel like maybe the Ornn items are starting to work out as Deft finds that really cheeky Mystic Shot onto Gorilla to take him out of that fight. And Doran's been playing well also.
Yeah, I mean, this is just why I really don't like late game teamfight composition with the DRX, because when they're playing good, Keria was always moving with the lane pressure.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, Chovy is always playing good, so he just needs some vision, and he just needs the teammates to play around him. So I was worrying about them having too much late game teamfight come, but they just got the teamfight. So I think they're just slowly chasing them.
Yeah, we're going to be resuming very soon, guys, after checking out a few of those highlights, and I really hope that we can get back into this game soon, because honestly, like, it's started to get exciting. I think that DragonX is starting to fight back a bit more in these team fights, and we'll see whether they can continue to do so as we get back onto the Rift. and hopefully Deft is going to have all of those ping issues sorted out. Currently just clearing out the mid lane, waiting for the next Infernal Drake to spawn in 2.5 minutes. And then we should be absolutely fine. But speaking of fine, Root has his 3 items, and this Aphelios needs to be dealt with. If you are a DRX fan and you see that Root is still alive in teamfights, get ready to feel sad, is what I'm saying.
I mean, I don't see how they can lose the team fight when you see the items right now.
Oh, yeah.
All they need to do is just run in and be confident enough to just win all the team fights right now. Because, yeah, I mean, for sure, this is the timing that they can actually finish the game. And I don't feel like they are in comfort zone when it hits to the late game. Yes, they have Aphelios, but still...
Yeah, this is still SANDBOX, who haven't been super good at playing around late game advantages. You are exactly right. But DragonX haven't either. Like, these are 2 teams that have been known to throw almost all season long. And so we'll just have to see who's going to be able to have the stronger arm in this particular game, or who's going to be able to outplay, because there is certainly opportunity for both teams to be able to find advantages. And Punch is still playing really, really well.
Yeah, when you think about the map rotation, it's really, really easy to control the map when you have 2 silent pressure. Because, let's say you're DRX side, you're getting pressured by whole lane.
Yeah.
Your side lane is losing and your mid pressure is slowly losing because of the silent pressure. It affects all the lanes, you know? Side lane pressure and mid lane pressure, it's all connected, so they just need to break the chain that it's connected right now, which is just force the fight with the Ornn and randomly fight man, just giving up one side of lane.
Yep.
And just group mid and get the team fight. Otherwise, you will get pressured. All the time and just slowly losing the game. So DRX, they really need to just.
They need to get vision around the Drake right now. That's what they need to do.
Exactly.
As Punch is clearing it out as soon as it gets put down. Not going to be able to move towards this ward right here, as Chovy should be able to take down this blue buff. It's losing its patience just a little bit, but as you can see, Chovy locks it down.
Yeah. They can just slowly push them out if they are just group as 5. They don't need to go to side. Just group mid and try to K run.
Yeah, well, are they going to start a team fight? Because that certainly feels like what DRX really want to do most of the time. Punch throwing through the barrels, but isn't going to find any targets right now. Some opportunities to start off with some poke here from DRX as well, as Chovy gets him down the backside. And will take down this Rift Scuttler. But it looks like DragonX are just going to focus on trying to get towards the point. There's the Ornn Horn. Ornn throws it back, but the Gargoyle Stoneplate will keep this Ornn alive for a very long time. Chovy from the top side throws through the culling, and Punch just dies instantly. But look at this. The damage out from this Aphelios is gigantic, and Root is able to throw out shots from so far away. Doesn't have Calibrum right now. And therefore, DragonX are going to be able to get the pick onto the jungler and put us towards Infernal Soul Point. Somehow. I have no idea how, but they've done it.
Yeah, I mean, they're just fighting really well. Just kiting left and right with the Ezreal Yuumi. And yeah, I mean, as I said, SANDBOX, they just need to run in. If they just tries to dodge the pokes and somehow eventually reach to Ezreal, that's not happening, you know? All they need to do is just flashing in and force the fight, or they're gonna lose the game.
Yeah, exactly. They need to allow Root to auto-attack, right? Like, he got a few shots onto Doran, and he was doing some damage, and you see, like, he finds this one little moment towards the end here, and this was based on Doran missing his ult onto Root as well. But still, he couldn't get into the fight.
Yeah, I mean, I said so many times that if you are the one that it might be really hard to just team fight, then you should come from all the different directions, you know? Especially SANDBOX right now. Let's say Gragas is coming from left side and Aatrox is flanking, and while Sylas is coming from right side, then I don't think DRX can defend it with their comp. So I think they should be more genius about how they team fight. Still, they have the advantage, but I think it's slowly
it is slipping away.
DRX side.
It is absolutely slipping away.
Okay.
And now that there's a triple stack of these Infernal Drakes as well, plus the Masterwork items, you're looking at the top of the screen. We are down to under a 5,000 gold lead. So actually, when it comes to effective stats, DragonX have more. as the teleport is going to come down. Punch taking a bit of damage there from Deft, who has his Hex Trinket now completed. A little bit safer in these fights as now Chovy looking for Dove. There's the on once again. Final chapter comes down. Massive knock up as Gorilla's going to be the first one to fall down. Deft untouched in the backline as Doran goes very low but flashes himself to safety. You can see Root is still alive and Deft just gets taken down. He's got the right weapons and my god does Aphelios do the damage. Area now finds himself completely alone and SANDBOX, they finally wake up. They took a bit of a siesta there, but they have woken up now and this is what the Aphelios can do.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking that DRX favored teamfight it was, but Aphelios did his job.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was great, yeah.
He basically just stood there and was able to turret because the fight was so incredibly chaotic. And this is what happens. I mean, I feel like the Aphelios was effectively zoned from the last team fight, and DragonX sort of forgot that he was going to be this huge deal in the team fight. The Baron will go over to SANDBOX and just have a look. I mean, Root was playing super close and manages to get the Calibrum in the middle of this team fight.
In time, yeah. And look at the turret. Look at the turret. He's gonna hit Deft, and Deft is like, oh, what? He had the turret right there?
Yeah, exactly.
And he cleans it for no reason. You cannot clean it, bro.
Nope. Nope. And that was just a case of Aphelios being a little bit too strong. Now has himself the Mortal Reminder. He's building towards Bloodthirster as well. That will be 6 items. He hasn't died this game, guys. Root is just a huge deal, as Doran does manage to sear and charge his way underneath the turret, so he's going to be fine. Nabela's Breath will make sure that there is no CC potential. And DRX, they're back out onto the map, but can they actually win a fight and move towards this Infernal Soul now? Because that's the fight that they really need to win.
I mean, still DRX team fight is looking great because they're just simply making the war zone for them. So I think it's still doable for them because SANDBOX is still just going
Doran's
straight
in trouble.
5v5.
He does have himself his Gargoyle Stone Plate, so it should last a little bit longer, but the Ornhorn is not going to be able to be utilized. Too much CC, and SANDBOX will rip apart this turret. And it's just, there's too much peel for Root right now, and I just don't know whether DragonX can even stop them from taking an inhibitor.
That was the round 1 Doran.
Oh no,
Right there.
not the round 1 Doran. We don't want to see that. We want to see game 1 Doran, not round 1 Doran.
Exactly. So this should be the game. Maybe they're looking.
It might be, but Punch just took a lot of damage right there. DragonX still do have some
turret.
tools
He has
available.
the turret.
Exactly as
He has the
Chovy
turret.
has to go golden. Root has the right items yet again. And Deft getting absolutely chunked. Oh my god, Crescendum is just busted. Remember guys, Crescendum was nerfed on this patch. It did more before.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to see Aphelios' turret during the team fight, so that's why it makes really hard to play against that champion.
Yeah. And look, Chovy's completed his Guardian Angel, but he's going to need a whole lot more of them if they want to win this game, as the Infernal Soul is denied. That's the first one for SANDBOX to pick up. As, yeah, Doran maybe just thought that he was tankier than he actually is, and he couldn't throw his goat back, and therefore SANDBOX were able just to push through and grab 2 inhibitors off that play.
Yeah, I mean, this is good to see. Root is playing so much better than game 1 because he did lower damage than the enemy support last game, so this is the redemption for him.
Well, now he's made up for it. He's close to 40,000
For
damage.
sure.
Just insane stuff.
Woo!
Yeah, close to doubling an Ezreal's damage. That is pretty damn impressive, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I think Root was maybe a little bit angry after that first game. And you can see the gold lead is getting back towards that 10,000 gold mark. It's not clean from SANDBOX, but I think maybe, just maybe, they've found enough of an advantage to close out this game, especially with how these side lanes are positioned right now. Doran is too far away to try and at least help this inner turret from going down. And now he's going to teleport back, and DRX are going to try and hold on to their last remaining inhibitor. It seems like they should be able to do so, as the Baron has dissipated. And so SANDBOX not going to have all of that push power that they had before. But DragonX are going to have to win a few team fights if they want to get back into this game. Because we've still got 3 minutes of no inhibitors for DragonX's bottom side and mid lane.
Yeah, they just need to win team fights this is the last inhibitor, which is so important, as you might know.
Yeah.
If you lose this inhibitor, there's no hope.
Yeah, it's basically over.
There's literally no hope.
And they do have
Especially with... Yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to say that they have a fair bit of wave clear with the Lucian and the Ezreal being able to clear things out from range, but it's going to be impossible if all three of these inhibitors do go down. They're keeping this inhibitor turret very healthy, and they have some items. The defensive choices here, Def does have his stopwatch available now, and you have that GA completed for Chovy, so there is a possibility that if they can get on top of Root, they will be able to win a team fight, but he is so
Take the
safe
turret.
right now.
Good job.
Yeah.
They should just keep trying to hit the turret with the tanking.
It is harder with the
Yes.
backdoor bonus because the turrets are so tanky, but yeah, any damage is good
But
damage.
still, you know.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, Root does
exactly.
so much work, man.
And this is the timing, I guess. The half HP on the inhibitor turret.
Yep, we've Lonely's taken the ram away from Doran. As oh god, the culling. Fair bit of damage there onto Gorilla, who was trying to tank out that turret. Punch taking a fair bit there as well, and they are just going to back away. 40 seconds until the Baron is available, and 2 minutes until Infernal Drake will offer an Infernal Soul to both teams.
I mean, if I can give advice for the SANDBOX, just try to get back and just get Nasher buff and try to fight. But they're trying right
Yeah,
now.
there's the on-horn, and the Trundle can't even use his ultimate. Oh my god, able to flash out, and there's the final chapter in as well as Def, trying to do what he can there on the backline. Doran tanking up as best he can, but against 4 people, I don't think so. Root was
Root is
even,
monster.
it was even focusing on trying to kill Def while there was an Ornn right on top of him. He just did not care. There's now Carrier. Oh my god, the Moonlight Vigil did so much work. As Lonely can't get on top of Def just yet, but they're just focusing the Nexus turrets. Chovy trying to get under his fountain. You can see the damage deal is still alive here on DRX, but
Oh
with
my
the front
God.
line destroyed, they can't even survive
Oh.
on their damn fountain. It's insane. As Punch is going to go golden, the Aphelios is going to pick up the remainder of the kills and the Nexus and bring us to a game number 3.
So, my question is, who deserves the POG?
I think it still has to go to Punch, right?
I agree.
Is he played out the early game so well, and being Aphelios in that composition is not too difficult if you get an early game handed to you like that.
Yeah, I mean, he was getting early leads and getting mid-game leads either, so they should be able to end this game earlier, like 10 minutes earlier than this, but yeah, they're not that good enough to end this game, but still, win is win, W is W, so it's still great for SANDBOX, and we can see the game 3 and potentially 9 games.
Yeah, we're still on it. I mean, I don't have a lot of hope for the middle series. I think that might be 2 games. Griffin 2-0 easily, you know. No, that's not my prediction, guys. I think that KT should be able to take that one, but I'm glad that this one went to 3 games. I think that if Dragon X are able to bounce back and win game 3, that will show that they have identified some of their problems, right? Because I think that Dragon X's issues are largely in team cohesion and keeping their mental in check. And so if they come back and win game 3, then that shows that they have been improving that mentality. And they're going to need to do that. But SANDBOX now do have themselves some momentum moving forward. And I think that in game number 3, there won't be an Aphelios that they have to worry about as well. So I think that that is going to be very important.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to see Pyoshi playing better than this, because this game Punch literally outclassed them whole game.
Oh, yeah.
So
The entire time.
yeah, I mean, if DRX wants to win easily than this, then their jungler really need to step up and perform better than this.
Yep, and Dragon X, unfortunately, it's the same thing as usual. They don't have any substitutions possible or anything like that. They're not going to be able to move anyone else in, I don't believe, unless Quad's going to be playing, but I don't think that that is going to be the opportunity that they're looking for here. They kind of wish that they had a different jungler, but that's just not going to be the case this time. And DRX did find themselves some team fights after messing up the early game, and maybe that's going to help them keep their heads in the game. Because, I also think that Def's Ezreal was not at the power level that we're used to seeing from Def's Ezreal as well.
Yeah, I mean, some team fights, they actually got the point that how to win the team fight with this gun. And Yeah, they tried to reach to the late game, but they were just hyping too much.
Yeah, I think so.
Because at some point, yes, you won the fight, but it was pretty lucky that they won the fight with this comp when they're losing that hard all the game and with this advantage. So, still, DRX has a great chance to come back, but I don't think they can. They have great knowledge about their comps and the team fight in this game especially.
Yeah, I think so too. There were some fun team fights. I think that Punch just played really, really well. Was super clean. It was great to see him come off the bench and then just perform instantly so well. I don't want to talk about Aphelios because I just think that Crescendum Calibrum is so stupid. It is just so stupid.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense that it targets champion first.
Yeah.
Because that makes that champion so OP. It's like so easy to keep. Like you just set a turret and they cannot run into it. But this time, DRX actually just ran into it. That's why they died.
Yeah.
In that team fight. So yeah, I mean.
And we were talking.
Do not open Aphelios, even though it's Root that you are playing against.
I mean, Root, he's got the Jin Air power spike, you know? Like,
I guess,
you put him in a tough situation, he'll come back from that stronger. You know, that's what that's what the Jin Air effect is, you know? Teddy was the same. He lost so many times, and now look at that damage. That is just insane from the Aphelios.
Maybe, yeah, maybe they're like, ah man, that AD carry that did the lower damage than my support, you don't need to ban Aphelios. But he was like saving his energy for game 2, I guess.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He knew that Aphelios is gonna be open.
It was all the mind games. It was the SANDBOX mind games. Yeah, I'm looking at that damage number thinking it's very impressive from the Aphelios, but I think it was all about Punch's control of the early game that really was allowing the AD carry to have such a performance. I would expect that the player of the game will go over to Root, but we'll see what happens as we get into game number 3 after the break.